And there we go.
to
Just like that. We are live. Clave, you are in a
not
new
true.
new
Not
locale.
true. This is a loop. This is a recorded loop behind me.
That's a quality
It's
green
not live.
screen. It almost looks real.
Yep. I recorded this last week.
Well,
It's remarkable how you're going to make it seem seamless.
yeah, it's okay. We have editing wizards who will be able to
Oh,
take care of this for us.
the interns. It's
The
going to be
interns,
great.
we have just hordes of interns at our fingertips.
All right, I'm on vacation, Abram. That's enough banter.
All
What's
right,
what's going? Tell us about the punch list.
this is the punch list. It is the nerdy news that you need to know. Every Wednesday, we post the past week's news. It can be anything:
Yeah,
Marvel,
good.
comics, movies, TV
The
shows,
stuff that nerds want to know.
everything. The stuff they crave. So we
Yeah.
break it down. So you're busy. We'll do it for you. We'll break it down and tell you all the things you should be excited about. So, without further ado, Clay, let us start off with number 7.
Number
Usai
7.
Usagi? Sorry, my pronunciation. I'm not great. Usagi
I always
Yojimbo,
just call it Samurai Bunny.
Samurai Rabbit spin-off series headed to Netflix. So it's a very popular, very long-standing since I think 1984 comic is
Gosh, you're
now
kidding me.
getting to. Yeah, I did a little research. Going to Netflix, a little animated series set in the future from when the comics are set. Um, Thoughts on that? Are you familiar with the series?
Not at all. I mean, I know what it is. I mean, if it's been around that long, you're gonna bump into it, and it's a samurai bunny. So I've probably paid attention, but I've never read the comic or I don't know anything about it. But Netflix they greenlight lots of things. So the Punch List show is debuting on Netflix in 2021.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, we got something for all the nerds. Might as well have samurai bunnies.
The only thing that the punch list doesn't work for on Netflix is binging because you're going to be weeks and weeks behind of the news.
Yeah, well, this is a water cooler show, so you want it weekly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll get that. So, I don't know much about this either. Samurai Rabbit, lots of like Japanese lore and imagery and stuff in it. So, sounds pretty
I
cool.
hope it's animated, not live action.
It
If it was a live action Samurai Bunny, then
it'd be like Monty Python. It'd be like a Monty Python spinoff.
I would not argue against that. That would be kind of great.
Let's do it. We'll greenlight our own show, Nerds on Earth. All right. So awesome. Coming to Netflix sometime in the future. Who knows when? They got a lot of backlogs. So
Let's say this year,
let's say this year.
2020, need some good stuff. Yeah.
Number 6. We're going to Paizo. Paizo has approved more Pathfinder and Starfinder content for organized play. So Gen Con Online is right around the corner next week. And the character options for the newest books that are coming out, spoiler, the Advanced Player's Guide, the Starship Operations Manual for Starfinder, all that stuff is available at your fingertips for organized play in the Pathfinder Society or Starfinder Society for your characters. Awesome.
Abram, I don't want to talk about this one. Because I feel like we buried the lead here. Organized play is, that's a narrow thing. Let's talk to all the nerds out there. And the big message of this news is the Advanced Player's Guide is coming, and Starship Operations Manual. So not only are those options are coming to organized play, yes, that's great. So if you don't care about organized play, care about the Advanced Player's Manual, which is awesome book that is coming soon, and it adds new classes to play for the Pathfinder Second Edition, such as help me
Investigator?
here, Investigator, a Witch,
Which? I
and
know there's another one.
the awesome third one that we'll think of when we're on number 4 of the punch list. And then Starship Operations Manual. That's awesome. So tons of new options for
Starships.
Starfinder. And so, yeah, so normally Paizo would be the biggest booth at Gen Con. Gen Con's canceled, but still, their yearly release schedule, they have a ton of great books drop around Gen Con. Best-selling, popular books that we'd want to have. So they're dropping. So yes, the headline in the punch list was new options for organized play, but the main headline should be nerds. Let's get our new role-playing books for Pathfinder, Second Edition, and Starfinder.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but maybe if you're perusing nerdsonearth.com, the website, in the near future, maybe you'll see a little, some thoughts on some of these books. I don't know. I've said too much.
Sure.
I've said too much.
Sure. We might be taking a peek. I don't know.
Who knows? So yeah, super great. Stinks Gen Con's canceled, but that doesn't mean that things aren't coming out. So get excited for these coming out.
It is a bummer that convention season. Yeah, and just as a serious society, it is a bummer. Convention season. Some of these companies, they would have just stacks and stacks of these books, and and just that feeling of pride that, hey, we made these new books and buy them up, nerds. And so it's kind of a bummer, but hey, the books are coming. You can get them at paizo.com, Amazon, and if your local shop is open, get it there.
Yes. Yeah. But hey, positive, it saves our backs from carrying around a huge series of tomes for an afternoon. So
you're strong.
There you go. Yeah. All right, moving on. Number 5. Marvel Battleworld has arrived in stores. I'm not sure the sentence I just read, Battleworld, but it sounds pretty cool. So it's a collectible adventure game, kind of like the Funkoverse has kind of had their fingers in the tabletop gaming pie now with a couple. They have a Batman sort of one and a Harry Potter themed one. So now we're getting this Marvel Battleworld, this new game with secret mystery characters, kind of luck of the draw type of thing, and it's a game. That's all I know about it.
Yeah. So let's rewind the punch list film. So you're saying that this gaming system already exists with Potter?
It does. Although that's called the Funkoverse,
Okay.
so it's not Battleworld.
All right, that's actually helpful because I'm like, holy moly, what is, I saw this coming out. I'm like, what is going on? Like on one hand, I'm like, I love Marvel. This is fun. Like you open up dumb little, like it's a blind box, essentially opening up for the little character figures with a little bit of a game attached. So I'm like, whatever. Like that's kind of horrible. To be honest, you're like, oh man, I want a real game and to be able to get the figures that I want. But on the other hand, I'm like, my kids would love that, and it seems like a really nice, light game. And so I thought it came out of nowhere. And you're saying that this is a
yes, yeah. So the
system,
the Funkoverse version.
Educate me.
The Funkoverse version is obviously all these pop vinyl Funkoverse figurines that are literally everywhere. I can walk down the hallway, I'm going to trip over 5 of them. They have these already, and then they made these games, the Harry Potter and the Batman themed games, sort of around like, hey, now I can use my figures for a game. And I want to say you could probably use whatever Funko figures you want.
But this blind opening where you get this and it's like, you defeat Thanos and you open up the that's the revelation.
That's the draw.
Like that's
right.
The innovation. Okay. All right. So it's called
Marvel Battleworld.
And I think you can get a pack from Target for like $8 or whatever, and that will be like the expansion for the game, which is really you're collecting these little figures and kind of playing the game with your kids.
Yeah, which means the game will never be played. You're playing with the figurines.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, whatever. Like that's it's go Funko.
It's something.
I mean, they're trying to broaden their base,
their footprint. Exactly. So
their footprint.
Marvel Battleworld. It's a tiny footprint, but it's there. You just have to look for it. Number 4 on the punch list, Hasbro, Clave's favorite
Hasbro.
creator, has unveiled
They have all this stuff I love.
they have unveiled GI Joe Retro series of 3.75-inch figurines. Figures. They're figures, not figurines.
Action figures, buddy.
So this first wave of figures is going to be Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Baroness, and the Cobra Hiss tank, and the Joe Awe Striker. These names, G.I. Joe's got the best names. It just does.
They do. Yeah.
So it's going to be, very vintage, a very vintage feel, sort of, like it's an original release. And I'm going to date myself by saying I don't know when the heyday of G.I. Joe's was, 80s, 90s.
Yeah. So did you say G.I. Joe, Abram? A lot.
I did.
I feel like you've opened the door for me to talk about G.I. Joe. So knowing me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited do you think I am? On a scale of 1 to 1,000, with 742 being the highest, how excited about G.I. Joe do you think I am?
Well, since 742 is the highest, I'm going to say 3,000.
Exactly. I love them 3,000. So here's the thing. This is horrible news. What looks good on the surface, the headline that looks good on the surface, it says, bringing back vintage 3.75 G.I. Joe.
Oh, no.
So if you're a Joe lover, you know that the original 3.75-inch line, which is like the old school little, about that big action figures, they're bringing back that line, and it's going to be retro. But here's the thing, they're not. So, I mean, retro is no ring. All G.I. Joe fans know that from 1983 to the mid-90s, they had that O-ring. And then they later on they made different kind of figures, anniversary figures, right? And so really what this headline is saying is that those anniversary figures from just a few years ago, so not retro at all, these anniversary figures are being repackaged with retro art. So it's not really. And so I was so excited. I was watching the announcements, and God love them, they don't know what the word vintage or retro means. Like, I'm like, though, you think those words mean something?
Words have to mean something.
Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, these are just reissues of the reissues, with some throwback art. So they're not anything to be terribly excited about. However.
Oh, here we go. You spent the past 5 minutes saying why we shouldn't be excited about it, but now you're going to tell us why you're actually excited.
So I don't know if it's on Nerds on Earth yet, but there are some new Joes. Now, these are not the old school that you like. These are the 6-inch figures. So think Marvel Legends, think the Star Wars Black Series. And when the Star Wars Black Series came out, folks are like, Star Wars is supposed to, and then we got the Black Series, and we're like, oh, they're actually pretty nice. And so what you can't get with these 6-inch figures are vehicles, because whatever,
they're too
the
big.
All Striker would be as big as a golf cart, right? Well, maybe not that big, but you get what I'm saying. So the scale is all wrong. But so there are new G.I. Joes, G.I. Joe Classified. They are 6 inches. They have Snake Eyes. They have Scarlet. They have Roadblock. They have Duke. They have Cobra Commander. It's good stuff. They're kind of hard to get now. It's a little sporadic. And another thing is this, the retro 3.75 figures that aren't really retro at all. They're Walmart exclusive, which is horrible. Because Walmart exclusive, what that means is the bro that works in the toy section at Walmart is like pulling all the good figures out back in the stock room and flipping them on eBay for a profit. That's what Walmart exclusive means. So collectors hate exclusives like that. It's like,
that's awful.
So yeah. I mean, curb your enthusiasm on the retro stuff. It's not what it sounds, what the headline makes it seem. But the G.I. Joe Classified 6-inch figures, me, a skeptic, an old school 1984 loving my Joes, I got one of I've been playing with my 6-inch Snake Eyes, and see that back there. I put him under that tree, and I took pictures and posed him, and he's awesome. 6-inch G.I. Joe Classified, they're good figures. Get him.
And nerds direct any GI Joe questions right here because this guy knows his Joes. That's for sure.
I love Joe's.
Number 3. Let's move on. I have nothing more to say about Joe's. Number 3. Moving on. This is an interesting headline. I love it. Keanu Reeves is writing an original comic for Boom Studios entitled
Boom.
Berserker, except take out all the vowels. So it says Berserker, all caps, no vowels. Co-written by Matt Kint. And it's about a hyper-violent immortal who has lived through tens of thousands of years of war and is now working for none other than the U.S. government in exchange for information regarding his past. 12 issues coming in October. As a comic lover, Clave, your thoughts on Berserker?
Yeah. So read between the lines, translating that press release. This is a comic written by Matt Kint, which he's a good writer, right? And they're using Keanu Reeves probably develop. Keanu Reeves is not sitting down at the, at his vintage typewriter actually writing this thing. He's providing some broad story ideas, and the professional comic book writer is writing it. But that's okay. 12 issues, that's 2 trades. You can get the full series, or you can get the selected. It's it sounds fun. It's like Old Guard.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like it has a little bit of Old Guard merged with a franchise that Keanu knows a lot about. So yeah, I mean, if it's John Wick meets Old Guard, I'm into it. Whatever, even if if it's just Keanu's name on it and he's given a little bit of story direction, but his name is still in the comic, I'm like, you sucker in a guy like me, I'm down.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sold just on the name alone. I think it's a brilliant name. It's like the sound a Blizzard machine makes at Dairy Queen. Berserker.
Totally.
Berserker comic coming.
Who needs
October. Who needs it? Number 2, Walking Dead returns to comic store shelves in full color. This is sort of another kind of bait and switch headline, but coming in October, and there's going to be a new issue twice monthly. You're getting all 193 issues of The Walking Dead being re-released in full color. Same stories that are already out, but this time they are all the colors of the rainbow coming, splashing up from the page.
I mean, we tried to avoid cynicism, right, Abram? We try to keep this, but I mean,
we tried to avoid
money grab. I mean, I don't know. They're re-releasing all The Walking Dead in color, so I don't know. I mean, that's a thing, right? So they say it's going to be the entire run, so they're committed to this 2 issues a month. They're taking the old, starting at 1, going through 93. They're just adding color and re-releasing them. So I don't know if they're looking for new fans, because I would just I don't know who the audience is.
It seems like a very prolonged kind of release for something that's, to put it lightly, is out already. So obviously, I don't have the full color versions, but it's I don't know. I mean, I can't think of when the last one started. I mean, it's been a while since the first issues came out. So I don't know. It's kind of another generation.
So, I mean, even at 2 a month, it's still 6 years.
It's forever. We thought we were over the zombie craze, and here we are stuck at least for another 6 years.
Yeah. So wait 6 years, and then they'll re-release the omnibuses in color.
They're going to release a 3D textured version,
or just black and white. The way they work.
Yeah, it's going to be vintage style with O-ring.
Right. They'll release the color, and then they'll re-release some vintage style where they take the color away. They're in black and white.
Look at us.
Retro.
We're so innovative. By that point, no one will remember the originals. Oh, man. All right. Enough Walking Dead. I'm done with it. Number 1, final one on the punch list this week, Pandemic Legacy Season 0 announced. So this is the 3rd installment of the Pandemic Legacy series. You thought it would be called Pandemic Legacy 3? No, it's Season 0. They got you. Sorry.
A prequel.
Sorry for those of you who put money on season 3. Not happening. It's a prequel. So this one takes place.
You lost your bet.
I did. I can't live here anymore. I bet the house. Bet the whole house.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's a problem.
You bet the farm.
So it's going to be set in the Cold War era, investigating a Soviet bioweapon. So it's the pandemic that you know, season 0 prequel. So it's going to be a nice little sort of spy twists in there for the story. So something a little bit different. But if you're a fan of Pandemic, if you've liked the Legacy series, I mean, this is a no-brainer pickup for you to finish off this story in the game.
Yeah. This is awesome. You and Ashley have played through, right?
No, we haven't.
Pandemic
We've just played we haven't even played any Legacy. I know everyone keeps telling us we got to play that Legacy version.
It's fun. So Danielle and I played through Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Because, we like Pandemic. Pandemic's a great game. It's a gateway. Everybody loves it. It's mainstream. It's whatever. Big box. So Pandemic Legacy is awesome. So if you don't know, you play Pandemic, except there's a sequential storyline, and there's 12 essentially months, and you go through. It's tons of fun. It's really good. It was super well done. It was engaging. On Board Game Geek, it's commonly listed among the top 5 best board games of all time. It earned it. It's great. So we got season 2. We have not played it. I think it's just it's a time commitment.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's other new shiny things. So I think for them to say, hey, there might be a lot of folks who maybe haven't played through season 2, right? Yeah. And they might not buy season 3, but I'm like, I'll buy season 0 because whatever. I'm like, hey, Danielle, guess what? They got a prequel. Maybe we should play that one, and then whatever. And we already own so it's smart. It's good. Again, I haven't played season 2, so I don't know where the story went, but to have a prequel, like, hey, how did this pandemic happen anyway? I think is an evocative theme for the story. So hey, that's smart thinking. And it's almost like they put a comic in color.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point. If you've played the first one, doing a prequel when you have the sequel out is like, I mean, you can go in whatever direction you want. Or if you're starting out, you could start with 0.
We got options.
There's options everywhere. So super great. I will play through the Legacy at some point. I have to. But it's very, very exciting to get the other bookend of the series for board game lovers everywhere. And those are our 7. So
you'll like it.
Let's run down the 7 again. So number 7, Samurai Rabbit Yosagi Chronicles is coming to Netflix at some point.
Yep.
Number 6, Paizo got some PFS and Pathfinder and Starfinder scenario stuff, organized play, but really we got Advanced Player's Guide, Starship Operations Manual. They are coming soon, the 31st, next Wednesday probably. Wednesday or Thursday.
I don't know. Some people might already have the PDFs.
We don't know. We can't speculate. Number 5, Marvel Battleworld is in stores now, so you can open your Thanos stones and get some figurines.
Yeah, a little collectible for families with a little bit of game attached.
Little game. Number 4, Hasbro has unveiled a G.I. Joe retro series of 3.75-inch figures.
The headline is a lie, but get the G.I. Joe classified. The 6-inch figures are great.
Number 3, Keanu Reeves is writing or co-writing an original comic for Boom Studios called Berserker.
12 issues. I'll probably give it a try.
And number 2, The Walking Dead returns to comic store shelves in full color for those of you that missed it the first time and want to invest the next 6 years in reading something that's already out. And number 1, Pandemic Legacy Season 0 board game is announced. It is the final of the trilogy of the Pandemic Legacy series. And that's PUNCHLIST.
That's PUNCHLIST. We did it. Another one in the books.
We did it. Now Clave can get back to his
Natch.
back to his
I'm gonna go jump in
vacation.
this lake.
He's gonna go jump in the lake. We're gonna have to turn off the cameras because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Just-
Clave's on vacation.
You don't want to see it.
It's no rules. All right. Well, this has
All right,
been
Abram. Good
this
to
has
see
been
you as
fun.
always, buddy.
Yep. Thanks. You take care, Clave. See you, nerds.